John here. Today is Thursday, the 11th of May 2017. I just want to make sure I got these mic working so I can get a bit of sound. I'll leave it there. I just want to let you see what I've uploaded to Facebook. Some documents that are with Karen Hudes, the lawyer for the World Bank, or used to be in the World Bank, and she's exposing the gold that's missing in the Philippines. And I just want to make statements here of claim on the meeting we're going to be having in Waitangi on the 19th, Friday, and 20th, Saturday of this month. There will be forcing law through our native grand jury court under the Moai Crown and this flag here concerning the Queen Victoria Trust. Now Chief Kingi Taurua, he's a direct bloodline descendant of King Edward and Queen Victoria in that trust that I'm making his claim on behalf of the Paramount Chiefs. Now each Paramount Chief has different roles of natives that were here at the time between 1830 and 1837, King William IV's reign. That's the part of the Acts of Westminster Parliament that we're going under now with this grand jury court. Those are the laws we use of King William IV, and this flag is still a private contract under the King's Bench Court, native Manukau company in Edinburgh, Scotland, that put together the original titles for here. At the time these Scottish people had pre-bought land at Pupunga Manukau Heads in Auckland here. So I just wanted to go through these documents one at a time. There's 18 of them, and then I will go through the 42-page writ warrant that's linked to this these 18 documents at the same time. So I'll start with page 1. That's the first Scottish colony for New Zealand, Benkel merchant sailing from the port of Glasgow for New Zealand with the first body of settlers from Scotland on Friday, October the 25th. I guess that's 1839 to 1840. This will be in 1840 when they went straight for the Pupunga Manukau land blocks, the pass site, Pupunga pass site at Manukau Heads. So that's by John Crawford, Queen Street. Just have a look at that. I can't read it properly, but that's the first page. I'm saying that it's got there clearly stating free passage on board of this ship to New Zealand. So this is the only flag that has free passage through the world, and it's just stating that there with this flag of Admiralty as at that time period, 1839. This flag was the flag of New Zealand in 1834, 20th of March 1834 at Okiato Native Court in the Bay of Islands, Russell. And so they used that jurisdiction of Admiralty to come to the Manukau Heads before 1840 Treaty of Waitangi was signed. This is under the Admiralty flag of the ship through Cornwallis Simons, William Cornwallis Simons, that came with his ship and the Scottish people to Manukau Heads in 1840. Okay, so I'm saying he died, mysteriously died in 1841, the time period that they were putting these documents and changing them with the corrupted New Zealand government and New South Wales government of this British title that's still there. We're seizing their titles back because that's what the British did in 1868, thereabouts. They seized all the titles from the land being sold illegally without a monarch in Britain. At that time there was no sovereign from King William in the period from 1830 to 1834, and when this flag was commissioned as the flag of New Zealand, that's when it became a legal contract with these paramount chiefs I'm talking about, with these documents and the claim to that gold that's missing from our trust. We're still beneficiaries of that trust in the Queen's Bench Court, and I'm talking about the King's Bench Court here, where this land started from, the King's Bench Court. Okay, that's the jurisdiction that flows on from this King's contract with these paramount chiefs. The paramount chief Te Waikato Wharehere Manukau in Edinburgh, Scotland, and he was living in Cambridge, where he learned English and learned to put these native titles together for this Manukau title. Took up to 10 years, from 1820 to 1830. So that period of time, as soon as the king came in, this land title kicked in with the Manukau Moriori lands from that chief over there to this chief Rewhare from Manukau that sold the lands to Clendon, and John Rogan, the uncle of Mohi Temati Manukau IV, paramount chief. That's tied to Rogans in that Okiato title, to Auckland province title, to Tiki Tiki. Those titles are joined with Rogan in our family, the Wanoas in Tiki Tiki, and also the Manukau's in the Kaipara, Rogan, John Rogan, his uncle, Mohi Temati Manukau, the fourth paramount chief, uncle John Rogan. Okay, so that's in the Helensville native court there, doing the native titles, court titles. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'll just wait me a second. I'll see who's there. Francis. Okay. Just cutting the video. Making video. Always get this all the time. So she's up north, Francis Lazarus. She's in the Hikua Te Ika Marae, up in Te Hapua, and working with Bundy, Waitai and Herewini Karaka up there. Okay, that's it. So they're watching what I'm doing here because they have a direct interest in it. So we've got, where's my page gone? Oh, here. Right, page 1 of these 18 documents is these Scottish people have been duped out of their title. When they came here, they paid a fee simple title in England, and they paid a deposit for that fee simple title for this Manukau land from the Manukau chief paramount in England to this other paramount chief here on the land blocks up at Okiato. The Manukau land titles up there, the Manukau land titles in Auckland, and also the church, St Mary's Church titles with Clendon pulling up in Hicks Bay and going around to that Whakawhitira native land court in Hikarangi, Victoria area. So he was there, he was up north, and he was in Auckland with the Rogans and the Manukau's and the Wanoas down there, Reverend Wanoas with the St Mary's Church, the papal bull of King William IV, King William III. That ties that up with the 8-point star of St Patrick's Church Order, land rent chiefs. These paramount chiefs are land rent chiefs to pick up the revenue of the King's Bench Court, royal revenue, from the land occupiers, the tenants of this country. We are seizing all the land back into their ownership title of this merchant, Bengal merchant title of John Crawford, Queen Street. I guess that's in Edinburgh, where Prince Philip has just resigned as the Commander-in-Chief of the Royal Navy, Britain. You see, it's starting to hit the nerves there in Scotland that we are going in there to retrieve that title off this Crown Corporation Queen that's run off in the EU Parliament. And this belongs to the Westminster Parliament. That's our Parliament. That's our King. And that's our inheritance contract. Second party contract to a first party contract. The Queen is a third party contract. The iwi Maori Crown is a third party. The government in New Zealand and Australia is a third party. Australia and the America is a third party to this contract. Okay? Telling you that this flag is a contract. It's still live. Right, that's page 1 from Glasgow to New Zealand. And so we'll go to the page 2. Is the writ of execution, demolition and possession order that President Rodriguez Duterte in Philippines has put on his land to kick off the Rothschilds so that he can grab the land back off the Crown Queen Victoria and King George III. King George III was involved. That's the father of King William IV and Ernest Augustus I. King Ernest Augustus I and King George IV. Those are the brothers, and the father, King George III, is this title in this flag. The four corners of the earth and that little cross in the corner. That's those four kings. Okay, those four kings, the Emperor's title to William the Conqueror and King Solomon. That's just this flag. That's the inheritance right through of all that line of commerce, okay, under this Admiralty of the Sea flag. Right, we've got the writ of execution and demolition and possession order. We're putting the same order with these paramount chiefs, 4 of them, up at Waitangi, over this government and this land and right through the Pacific Islands, and the King of Hawaii will be here and he's in this lot as well. He'll look after the Pacific. I'm making this statement, citation, with these 18 pages I've just put on Facebook now. The YouTube is a writ warrant statement of fact, evidence, cited these documents that I'm doing with Karen Hudes is exposing, as a whistleblower, exposing the corruption in the federal state government and the World Bank, IMF and the United Nations and EU Parliament of Queen Elizabeth II, Rothschilds and the Jesuit Pope's business is running counter threat to our King William IV flag, King William III inside this flag, and St. Patrick's Order, the 8-point star, and also the St. Mary's Church, the papal bull with us on the Tiki Tiki lands. Okay, I've expressed that to Manahi Mohini, Manahi Parapara Mohini. So his name Parapara is the Moriori to Manukau. So he's speaking for Manukau Moriori tribe from Rekuhu Charamanans. That was a country that came here. Okay, won't go into that, we've already been there. So this second page is just the, I'm citing it, I'm citing all these 18 pages as this being a writ warrant to seize the country back off the corrupted fraud crown corporations, private companies using somebody's authority of admiralty to make all their money. We'll seize everything back if they've used this flag of Admiralty of King William IV, King William III, St. Patrick's Order, the 8th, and St. Mary's. If they use any of those titles while we're still in the contract, they're in trouble. So that's the second page, Solicitor General. So we'll go to the next one. I'm just saying these documents I've got here. Certificate of Sheriff's Return for compliance of the order of writ of execution and demolition dated 10th of September 1971 by the looks of it, but I'm saying that I'm putting an inventory of 970 million trillion pound note. You'll see the pound note that we have online. That is the debtor instrument right over the top of that gold that's missing. The 1.5 million metric tons of gold missing. All that lot that went from New York, that was set up by King William IV. He set up all that stock exchange on New York market before he became King of England at 68 years old. All his 50 years in the Navy, most of it was setting up that as an ambassador to America, setting up that stock market with this banknotes, these pound notes that King William III created the pound note, and he created the Bank of England. So he took that and commercialized it with this flag in America. Okay, so that's what I'm saying about this flag. In his time, this flag is active. That's Karen Hudes there. I've gone and screen printed her as citation of what she's saying is true, that I'm saying what she's saying about the gold being missing. It's all stacked up in the Philippines. We've got a claim on that because that's our private business. Everything in Admiralty is private contract. You can't inquire into the contract, Karen, just as much as they say about nobody's claimed it. No, that's not anybody's business. That's between us and the trustees. The Queen is the head trust of our trust, the Queen Victoria Trust, 1848. She set it up from King William's authority for us, the native here, not Maori, the native paramount chiefs here in this country and this flag. Okay, was set up in this time period between 1830 and 1837. I'm saying here that King William had his gold coins. You can see the picture I put there with his gold coins, and he's sealed in the middle of that 8-point star St. Patrick's Order ring chief collector of his revenue is that 8-point star with his seal in it. That's our seal with that flag and his crown on top. That's his coronation crown on the top of that 8-point star. Is this 8-point star, 4 stars in the corners of the earth, 4 corners of the earth that he went around. We have free passage through the world with this flag. We're the only king's flag in the world that can go free passage through the world. We have 250 countries ready to go in with this flag now, with these 4 paramount chiefs on behalf of all the Pacific Islands, or the people that came here from all the islands, including Hawaii, the King of Hawaii, that's recognized as paramount. A paramount equals a chief, king. King in British Westminster is equal, on an equal par with a paramount chief. That means a paramount chief is, the surname stays the same in the male line dominant, which is Salic law under these kings' law, King William IV and King William the Fourth, King William King George IV, King Ernest Augustus I, and King William IV. So those 4 kings under Salic law in Plymouth, in William Yard, is our flag is going up there in his William Yard in Devonport, to Devonport, Auckland here, to Devon there, and Plymouth, to New Plymouth here with Taranaki, and the mountain there to Hikurangi Mountain, up from Tiki Tiki on the Whakawhitira native court there to Okiato Court up in the Bay of Islands. Those all match up, perfect title. This is a perfected title I put together straight to Britain and Scotland. So this is Karen Hudes on that page on Facebook, fixed onto a citation fact against anybody else claiming that gold. All that gold, if we're proving that this king had the authority to collect all the revenue for Britain, Westminster, is our contract still there It's still there because no one can, only us can change it. Not the Maoris, because that's the Crown's corporate patent name, not Moai. That's not their patent name. Moai is our patent name. And our memorial is standing in London. That's it. That's it. That's our connection to Britain that we're going under, Tahitian. And the King of Hawaii will cover the Hawaiians. And the other islanders will cover themselves, and the Cook Islands covered by Bundy Waitai at Te Hapua, the closest distance from North New Zealand to Cook Islands is there. So he's covering that. And for Moriori, for Manukau, Manahi, Parapara, Mohini, we're covering that on these titles. So this next page is Karen Hudes again, just explaining Wolfgang Strutt, the other lawyer that's claiming the money for the other families. They're making a claim. They're not the trustees, you see. The King and Queen of Spain is still our trustees. If they've pulled out, that's not our business, but they're still on our documents as being the trustees, not the King and Queen that are there now. That's not our interest. Our interest is who we've got on our trust. If they've put that successors onto their trust, that's not the same trust. So we're still claiming that we're going to sack the King and Queen of Spain, the old one. The father died last year, so the son is a Filipina. You see? He's a Filipina, and his wife are making claims to our trust money and gold. That belongs to us. He can't prove. No one can prove where that came from and who got it and what instruments you use. If you've been using our instruments, you're in trouble because we're making these claims against all that gold is missing with this pound note. We have the rights to print the pound note over any debt outstanding and any property missing that belongs to our trust. Okay, we've got the Moai Crown King William IV Trust to bankrupt anybody that has third-party interests to our trust. Okay, you get that? So that's that page, and that's from a letter from Wolfgang Strutt to Karen, and she's responding to him making claims, and she's making a claim too for humanity. And they have to produce the title against the titles I've got. I'm putting all these things online to see where is their fact information of how they got the authority and the jurisdiction to collect all that gold. It had to come from somewhere. So we're the closest with this flag of a king, the king that made these laws to collect gold. And you can see his picture with his gold coins. Okay, so he's put that together. Wolfgang Strutt on May the 10th, 2017. So that's just recent. That's just yesterday that this email has come from Wolfgang Strutt to Karen. It's fresh off the press. So I'm talking up to date. Where is that gold hidden? We're not too bothered about where it's hidden. We're putting an instrument right over the top of the land and the gold and everything in it with this writ warrant that Rodriguez Duterte is using on the Rothschilds to get them off the land and get everybody off the land so that he has the gold there. So we make a deal with him. He's got to talk to us and the King of Hawaii because that's our Tahitian property. That's in the Philippines. Okay, we're talking about Polynesian here. Polynesian, just a Polynesian British flag here. A contract, the only private contract flag in the world that got banks in it and seals of Westminster. So that's our position, to go into Westminster with this flag to save Britain from all the thugs who displaced everybody in the world under the Queen's crown, displaced everybody. Even Trump is caught up in that mess that they've made of our flag and our king. They've made a mess of our king's flag and we're going to fix it up. It's only us that can do that. So we got this letter, status report, 8:30 AM on the 10th of May, yesterday, 2017. So I'm not going to read it because it's quite a bit involved. The next one is from Karen to Wolfgang on the same day. She responds, "Why are you sending me this report when yesterday I said that I was not going to enrich you from the world's wealth in the global debt facility, and that you have not been authenticated by the Board of Governors of the World Bank and IMF, and have not agreed with their condition that you first acknowledge they are only going to authenticate authorized signatories on a transaction by transaction basis. See attached correspondence. I did not put our exchange of emails out to my followers on the internet yet. I did blind copy someone who is also blind copied on this email." So Karen has exposed that of what Wolfgang Struck, a lawyer, is doing to try to claim that money for families other than our trust that are making this claim that we are the actual commercial landowners of that inheritance gold. You can see I've got the picture of King William clearly with gold coins there with his picture and his seal, with him sitting on his horse and his Admiralty ship behind him. Right? We have all that here tied up in this flag with this big meeting we're going to have to clear this all up. That if anybody can't refute what I'm saying online with these documents as citations, then you're in trouble if you can't produce the facts. That you produced the authority yourself to get all that gold, and you got the shipping manifestos from somebody to amass that gold that you're claiming, Karen. And Wolfgang Struck, where did you get your authority from for that gold? From who did you get it and stack it up and pinch it from New York, where King William IV set that all up for us? So the bilateral minefield breakthrough success agreement by its own terms did not expire. So I'm not going to read that, you can read that yourself. I'm just saying that the names that are here are IMF and World Bank, where the corruption is with the federal state, making claims to this gold that they don't legally own. They're using it to make money out of, but it's the principle and the interest of that trust. Whose trust is they talking about? Let's put that together. Whose trust, Karen? Who is the originators of the trust? Where did the trust start from? Where did it start? It started from here. It started from here, Wakaroa Bank, then the BNZ Bank, then the League of Nations Bank, then the World Bank. That's all here in this flag. Prove me wrong. I know what I'm saying because Mohi Te Mati Manukau, Paramount Chief, made the deal with the British over there, with his title that I've put online there, with his ancestor Te Waikato Wharehere Manukau and the Lieutenant William Simons, and him in the 23rd Regiment of the Royal Navy, title that he put together in the court himself. That's an admiral or Navy title that started private contracts of a King's Bench court, not a Queen. You're operating in a Queen's Bench court, Karen, all of you are third parties in a Queen's Bench court. She has no legal right to a King's Bench court revenue. She is only an administrator, a crooked administrator, a corrupted administrator of the King's Bench Royal Revenue and his prized possessions as leaseholders and tenants in occupation land titles that belong to the native chiefs, paramounts. Okay, you got that? You got on those land because of Admiralty, anywhere in the world. Right, whereas referred to as bilateral mines, fuel, breakthrough success agreements. So that's the next page. So you can read those. The next one is judgments, and you and I, combined legal minds, should go back to Talano's case, land registration case number 3957P of the Regional Trial Court of Pasay City, which is part of Metro Manila in the Philippines. So I'm just saying, I do land titles, native land titles. When you get to native land titles, those are raw land, indigenous people of the land, and you white people, Karen Hudes, that came there. Right? You being a Jew, you come from the other side of the world to America. On the American Indians' land you've stolen, using the Queen's title against the King's title. Okay, King George III put all those titles together in America, but then King William IV made the commerce and the pound note that the Rothschilds stole, and we're going to get them out of there in England with this flag. We have the rights to those pound notes and the gold coins with this contract that's been stolen. So that's what that page is, and the next one is from Karen Hudes on the 7th of May 2017, a little bit earlier. Just another letter to Wolfgang Struck, just the same concerns again about his authenticity to make claims to all that gold, 1.5 million metric tons of gold, might be more now. Your reporting is fake news, Wolfgang Struck. I am trying my best, CC, Karen Hudes, I'm trying my best, but I do not understand a word. I thought I am in charge with the right partners of the global currency reset. Name it Zim, Dong, INQ, golden guns and golden Bibles, etc. But maybe she is. I'm wanting to see something Wolfgang Struck. So he's making outrageous claims to Karen Hudes. And Karen's written to the Philippines government. There's a corporation that is part of the banking cartel. See, so she's accusing the Philippines government of being a cartel, which by the looks of what President Rodriguez Duterte is saying, they are crooked. And he wants them out of there. So we're going along with him. And what she's saying, we're going along with that too, Karen. If you're watching this video, and those documents I've screen printed and put them on there for your good and your information, I'm citing that because of your claim to that gold you want for humanity. And you have to prove, where did you get your authority from to amass all that gold, through who, and you'll have to rebut what I'm saying, that the authority comes from this flag and our native chiefs, for all the native chiefs in the world. All their native lands were stolen the same way from Westminster, government corrupted by the Queen and her agents and lords. You don't need all those warlords, those lords in there, if you've got a king. So we're nominating, petitioning King Ernest Augustus V into Westminster Parliament to fix all your lot up. Okay, we're going to take everything back with him. He's got the authority and the bloodline under Salic law forbids women from succeeding to the throne. We've gone back to the stage because the Queen has abandoned ship. Your Queen and Trump's Queen and New Zealand's government's Queen and the Australia's government's Queen has abandoned ship of Admiralty and gone into the EU Parliament, thinks she's going to hide in the EU Parliament in Brussels, which is owned by King William IV and us. That World Court belongs to us. there's the flag that should be flying there to try everybody who's mucking around with our contract as third parties. Dangerous. It's very dangerous because we can use the Hanging and Chains Act in 1830 to 1837. All those laws that were rigidly made for pirates. So anybody pirating our business, interfering or tampering with our business, and also threatening our business with the TPPA and all your American laws, corrupted company and voting and everything else. I've never seen so much corruption and fraud in Israel and America. The same lot of thugs killing people for commercial gain for their own private companies. Where did they get the private from, Karen? Where did you get all of you get the private from in your contracts? How did you get the private? There's only one private in the world, and this one, in this flag. The only flag that can do private, straight out. And you're subject to this flag and its jurisdiction. This government here does not have any interest in this flag and us. They borrowed it to get their gazetted 1840 treaty through and borrowed our flag. They violated our flag contract and picked their own Maori chiefs. The Maori's not real. It's a myth. Everything the government has done, and America, and everything the Queen has done is a myth. That's what the Freemason says. Everything is a myth. They don't do deeds of truth. That's who we are, deeds of truth, Karen. Look it up. No one can do deeds of truth because you can't pass anything. That's a Moai Crown law. It's deeds of truth. Where is your proof and your citations to prove that you have title to the gold and the land you're sitting on and occupying only under lease to the natives? I'm just owning up with the native paramounts of this country, modelled around the whole world through Westminster. All your titles that you're using to screw all the natives comes out of this flag under our New Zealand natives title. Karen, you better be careful what you do when I'm talking as a surrogate king, a real surrogate King William IV, and my chiefs are saying so as well. They're saying it's true and correct. The Moai Crown is true and correct. As their memorial standing in London, Brussels, it's over there, that's our Moai Mana Whenua. That means the keeper of the land, God's earth, planet. Okay, there's enough information on my Facebook sites, 80 of them, Karen, and our website, and Twitter accounts, and Google, and YouTube, 950 videos proving who we are and who I am. My own Royal Tahitian Wanoa family owns that Moai statue, Karen. That's sitting in New York and Washington DC. That's my title, Karen, my own Wanoa title, and Tiki Tiki, St. Mary's Church, 1831, Papal Bull, King William III, King William IV title, Karen. That's my own jurisdiction of these documents that are going out today. Okay, just to be straight up with you. I'm not mucking around because I am the law after the chiefs force the law if no one rebuts it. You must rebut what I'm saying on these videos and these documents, what I'm doing. I put our seal on it of King William IV and Moai on those two strongest memorials in the world of commerce, and the flag of Admiralty, court-martial law. Martial law, court-martial law, financial martial law, Karen, is what we're using with that pound note, with the 970 million, trillion pound note and a £1 trillion note. Those instruments are covered by those two memorials over this whole planet, Earth, that you got to America through these kings. Okay, so that's that one. Friday, April the 21st, 2017. That's your letter, Karen. I'm looking at what you are doing with our information. Now, the Freemasons are on our side because they got duped out of the land they're supposed to have. Those families in Point Chevalier. Our flag is flying over there now, Karen. It's up. When that flag is up, it means it's operating legally. Kingi Taurua was responsible for that because he's a military man. He is the first in line to the Queen Victoria Trust here in this country. He has the right of occupation of that title that I'm putting him through with these Paramount chiefs as being party to that contract of Queen Victoria and her trust set up for us, not you. It was set up for us and Britain. That was set up between us and Britain, and it's not gone. It's still there. Where the money's been reinvested, we're going to do an audit on it, Karen. You're doing all the information, putting everything out there with all that figures. I've added it all up to 970 million trillion pound note, right through 183 years we've been holding onto this flag. It's legal all the way through. That's how many years we haven't done anything about it yet until now, because it wasn't going properly. It's supposed to be for the King's common law people, all that revenue, not for the elite people and the people working in the banks. You're going to lose it if you can't rebut this video as citation and affidavit, verbal proof. I won my case, Karen, in the district court here against the CIB police, the highest police here. I beat them because fact, citations and video. The video won the case. What I say to you, I put the names on today. I put the names here of the people I'm accusing here. They're going to lose everything. When your name goes in front of the world on Facebook, it's admissible evidence in the High Court or any court in the world, Supreme Court. It didn't matter because we are running the Admiralty private court of the King. Okay, that's that one. War Peace. On that page, that's page 8. So we're getting there. So these are your documents. We have remained at a fork in the road, World War III or the global currency reset. I don't know how you're going to reset the currency when we're holding on to the titles, to all that gold. You won't be getting, when you're anywhere without that gold, if it hasn't got an owner, a commercial land owner. It's sitting in land, somebody's land in Philippines. It's not sitting in your land, Karen. It's absent from America because it's been whisked away for the Queens and the Spanish side of the crooked side of Queen Elizabeth and the Rothschilds. See, they're going to get caught because I'm telling the whole world where and how they've done it to screw it off us, the beneficiaries of that estate. So this next page is Versailles sale of quadrillion. That's the dollars and everything. So we'll scoot to page 10, and third party says so from Elisa. Third party known to Wolfgang Strux. Now she's talking about third parties. See, I just finished talking about third parties. And this is dated the 21st of April 2017, Friday, from Elisa. And so that's third party known to Wolfgang Strux. So she's writing to Elisa, CC from Karen Hudes. So Karen's writing, and they're talking about Sofitel Philippines Plaza Hotel, Manila Bay. Well, I'll talk about the rest of 400,000 metric tons of gold is assigned to Wolfgang Strux. See attached letter of intent. So they're playing around with our trust. You've got to prove, you have to prove whose trust are you talking about. and who's the trustees of that trust, because we haven't put the King and Queen of Spain, the young one, in as our trustee. You can't do that with trusts. If you know anything about trusts, Karen, you should know. It's got beneficiaries, shareholders. We're the shareholders. We're the shareholders here for that trust. Okay? They've gone and masked us as Maoris. We're not Maoris. No. We're legally Moai. Marcos bought 617.500 metric tons out of the Vatican in the year 1949. So this is what I'm saying. They're being playing around. All we're doing is going to get an audit. And we're going to order the British military, Navy, to go with the government of Britain as soon as they get the elections through. We're going to go into Westminster with this flag, put it up to save them, and go into 250 countries in the world as dual government. We have the right to be a dual government with Britain as its native partner, because the evidence is there in Edinburgh with the Manukau Land Company title to this country. Okay, that's where it's come from. It's all on my Facebook. It's got the receipts of fee simple and titles to Scottish people that came to New Zealand and never got their land. That's my concern, because I have the right to investigate it as a land commissioner, native land commissioner creditor. I'm the Moai Bank creditor. Okay, we've got our administration in place in London, Scotland, and here in New Zealand. Ready to go. Okay, here we are. Wolfgang. Thank you, Wolfgang Struck. Wolfgang has claimed that he is entitled to the gold, but without authentication, which the Board of Governors has not done, and will only agree to the transaction by transaction basis. This is self-serving and of null effect. Thank you, Wolfgang Struck. From sent 21st April 2017, unacknowledged gold. You are correct when you assert that at no time in the last 12,000 years did humans possess or control any energy technology that could mine 2 million metric tons of gold. You have also correctly identified exactly why the 617,000 metric tons of gold described in the civil case in branch 111 Regional Trial Court, Pasay City, which was docketed at Land Registration Court, LRC, civil case number 997P, which through a motion by the Solicitor General of the Government of the Republic of the Philippines was consolidated into the LRC civil case number 3957P in July 14, 1964, cannot be acknowledged to exist, since it is physically impossible for this amount of gold to have been mined by modern humans. The nice thing about gold bars is they just sit there, whether or for 600 years or 600,000 years. Keep an eye on Antarctica. Conspiracy versus fact. How much gold is in the world? See, fact. They got the word fact. So that's Karen Hudes and her correspondence, and it keeps going like that through page 13, page 14, much the same, and page 15, the last page, Wolfgang Struck representing Reverend Dr. Flora E. Garcia. So I'm putting those there for the Paramount Chiefs and others to read. Now this next one, I've got the Scottish people coming to New Zealand, and then the last ones is the writ of execution. I've already been through that demolition and possession order we'll be using. The same orders as Philippines is using to get their land back, which will come with the gold attached to it. That's the only way he's going to use it. He's using the Admiralty court-martial law of a king. Now that he's using these laws, okay? He's using these laws, and they are our laws. we have the right to use them on anybody, and even on him and that country, because they accumulated their gold and their fortunes through this king. And this last page with King William and yourself, Karen Hudes, so that completes that certificate of sheriff's return. The return I'm saying is everything that I'm listing on what you're saying, everything that's been stolen, including all the damage to the world, the damage against people, the fracking, the chem trails in the skies, all that's built up against those people, and mostly coming from America. All the damage is coming from Israel, America. All the war will be billed. It'll be everybody writing in with complaints, and claims will come straight into us and Westminster, the new Westminster, Karen. We're going in there as the new Westminster and Brexit. Right? Whoever's going to run that country will have the Lords thrown out. They'll be gone, and we'll be sitting in there in place, and all that money saved, paying useless sods and pedophiles in there, boot them all out and start again. No currency reset, because we've already got the pound note and the water money currency and the gold currency against all the gold that's missing. We just keep writing the notes and electronic money transfer through Tag Pay in France. We'll be going to France to set up that business with them, with Britain, and pull those contracts together. That's my job as a contractor, Karen. I'm going to run the contracts through 250 countries already online in one of the 80 Facebook pages ready to go with our administration as soon as I get the chiefs and the titles sorted out, and the seabed foreshore and seabed titles sorted out, TPPA sorted out. If there's anything in it for the chiefs that they want, with that we'll salvage. We're using the salvage rights in our own jurisdictions and the jurisdictions of King William III, 1650 to 1701 period. All those acts of Westminster, we're using those as well, straight raw, unaltered. We are not altering those laws. We're going to use them in tandem as a native court in Plymouth, courthouse, sheriff of the county, and myself. We're going to work together in there with those laws. With those laws in the King's Bench Court, opposite Queen's Bench Court, until the Queen's Bench Court is gone. Once we get King Ernest Augustus in there, everything will be back to normal in the King's Common Law People's Court. We'll get rid of a lot of the laws and stick to the original laws, because America has put too many laws in that are useless to people. They're only good for their corporate elite people, bunch of thugs and pirates. It's no use, because it goes against what they were put in there for, to work for the people. They don't work for the people. They work for themselves and their own private companies, using this flag of admiralty, because this government in New Zealand's Governor General and Prime Minister gives them consent to use through the Queen. And it's the Queen that's the troublemaker, that's giving other fraud countries like Saudi Arabia the rights to use this King's Admiralty financial martial law flag to steal money for themselves. We're going to take it off you. We're going to salvage all of that stolen wealth off you and put people on contracts, sheriffs on contracts, and private investigators on contracts, and also debt recovery people on contract to go and salvage every square inch of land in the native courts back into the natives' title and their visitors.